Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong, starring two people who have not once ever, in their short yet prolific time on Earth, ever been wrong. Gina Rodriguez, never wrong. No, we were never wrong with Gina Rodriguez.
I was about to say,
sorry.
what happened to you?
I was going to list the people who we were not wrong about and be like, see, never wrong. But it doesn't work that way. I have to add more words.
Yeah. Because
no,
she's definitely been wrong.
She's been on an enemy of the show since before the show was, when the show was just a brainchild, she's been an enemy of the show.
Uh-huh.
She's been a personal enemy.
Anyway, welcome to But Am I Wrong, a show where we, Meghan and Melissa, sit here and have long philosophical discussions about different things in the world. We have 3 different segments here, and we'll break them down before each segment, but just know that you will be entertained, educated, and tickled.
Ooh. And you will be asked to participate. We won't force you, but we ask you to participate. And you can participate by writing into the show, or you could also participate by voting in who you think is wrong in each of our segments that we post on our Instagram story. We have polls on there. You say this person was wrong or they were not wrong. And then on Friday, we read the results in an episode that we call lovingly and forcefully, consensually, Fisting Friday. And you can just like write in your thoughts and feelings, maybe why you voted the way you did, or sometimes we'll call for like personal experience, thoughts and feelings. We love to hear it.
We do. I keep, in the way that you have a mosquito bite on your lip, I have a cut on the inside of my mouth because I made some homemade croutons and I was just chomping on them.
You had a death wish, my girl.
I love the way they taste, though.
No, the way I could eat croutons, like I think we should normalize having croutons like chips. Like put those babies in a bag and eat them like a snack, like trail mix.
Agree.
Yeah, but that shit's, it's dangerous. It's a liability. So it's probably why. That's why you ended up the way you did.
Yeah. Well, anyways, should we get into our first segment?
I think we shall.
So this is our first segment, But Am I Wrong? And that's when we pick things from our own lives that we want to either bring to the table if we were wrong about it. There also can be rants or just thoughts about anything happening in the world. And mine is more of a thought/rant. Don't be a greedy bitch and pay people what they're worth.
I disagree.
Now I'm going to tell a little story here. In Southeast Colorado, there's a coroner, and for those that don't know, the coroners come pick up bodies when people die. On June 1st, he got a call from the EMS crew, and they're like, we need you to pick up a body. And he was like, no, because he already worked his 20 hours for the week. And he was unavailable because it was more Memorial Day weekend. And they're like, no, you still need to come in. And he was like, no, I'm off the clock. And I already did my 20 hours for the week. And he said he couldn't go until his hours started over for the next week. And so then Ron Cook, who is the commissioner of Prowse County, had a meeting and was like, why weren't you at work? And he said, well, I am currently paid part-time. I'm only supposed to work 20 hours a week. He asked to get a full-time pay because he's supposed to be, essentially how the job is, he should really be on call 24/7. And there was a new state law that gave commissioners the discretion to move his pay to being full-time in 2024, but then they rejected the idea and gave the money to a deputy instead. And so his boss was like, I feel it's appropriate to call you guys because this is completely your decision that you're part-time. And he's like, no, it's not. I am a part-time worker because y'all won't give me full-time pay to be on call. And so that, I don't know if there's any update to this. I haven't found any updates online, but essentially if you expect people to be on call for 24/7, compensate them for that. Don't just take the money that is meant for that and then direct it to the deputy. For what? They're already getting paid what they were supposed to be paid, I guess. If there's a dead body, the body's going to sit there until his times have rolled over. Easy as that.
And it's not like that's like this other employee will just pick up the slack. Like, that's a very specific job with a very specific code of conduct and utilities and tools and the things that they do, and not something that other people want to just do a solid for the team. Right. You're shit out of luck.
What are you going to do? You can't just put a body in the back of your car.
No, it's also why you have to pay certified trade plumbers a fuck ton of money because or electricians. If you can't do it, they're the only ones who can, and you have no other option.
Right.
So therefore, that's the premium of their service, is that or sanitation worker, they're doing a job that requires a skill set that you have to do. And also that not a lot of people want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to pay accordingly. That's actually crazy.
That is ridiculous. I thought it was a joke when I first read it.
Where in Colorado?
It is Prowse County, Colorado. So it's in southeast Colorado.
I don't even know where the fuck that is.
Well, the south and then east.
No, I know. I'm thinking that's one of the lesser populated ones as well. So he probably is the only, it's one of those things where I'm he also doesn't have any competition.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, it's like a county job at that.
Yeah. It's trash, sanitation workers. There's a reason why if they go on strike, shit has to end fucking quick because there's no other way to do it. And also, anyone who then steps into that role, you obtain obtain the legal liability of something happens or whatever, you're not really protected by shit.
So I implore people to fight for their rights. And if they want you to work at a time that you're not supposed to be working or you've already hit your hours, unless they're going to pay you more, don't do it.
Mm-hmm. And if you live in America, don't forget, there are certain things in America that fucking suck. There are other things that don't. Simone Biles. And also, we are one of the most litigious countries ever. So, we might not be protected in working stuff like that. You might have to take it to court, but shit'll happen. So, damn, that's fucking crazy. Where did you find that?
Who knows?
Of course. I don't even know why I asked because I'm it's a fever dream for you. You're I don't know.
Could have been TikTok, could have been Reddit, could have been Twitter, could have been anything.
No one can know. No one can ever know. That's what's that quote from? There's no way to know. Oh, it was this person a couple of years ago was calling my friends, asking my friends who's playing in the Super Bowl. And one of their friends responded being There's no way to know. There's no way to know. And like, it was the day of the Super Bowl, and like they were with their like boyfriends, and they called all of their friends being like, I don't know, whatever. We're at the club. We're having fun. We're at brunch.
Right.
Well, my hot take, before I get into it, I want to give a quick shout out. You know who you are. Someone who fucking wrote in. I literally went to go pick out when you started talking, like, oh, I'll pick out what I'm going to talk about. We're connected cosmically because what you're talking about is actually what my hot take is. So unfortunately, I won't be able to read yours. Maybe I'll reference it afterwards. But like we were on the exact same wavelength because that was my hot take. And my hot take is that Billboard and music charts need to cap how many variations an artist can put out that makes them eligible for chart rankings. And this is something that like has really only come to light to me, and I think gotten to the level that it's at in the last 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years. And it is ridiculous. And I see a lot of people who will defend an artist for doing this, being like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay. Then the game needs to change. Like I have morally, that's not something I'm comfortable doing. Like there are lots of things that are like loopholes or whatever, but to say that everybody has the same resources and availability and also the same fan base that will support that so it works, it doesn't just flop and embarrass yourself if you release like 17 versions of the same. There's only so many artists who could actually utilize that loophole to get to where they're at. So the argument that like, well, other artists could do it. Other artists don't necessarily have the funds or their label backing them and supporting them to continue to do that, nor do they have the fan base who's going to make it worthwhile. And is it something that someone can legally do? Totally. Is it something that I would do? No. Is it something that I think like does not align with my moral code? Yes. Doesn't mean that it doesn't align with other people's, and like that's their prerogative. Point blank, it is a system that can only be used in that way by so few people that I think Billboard needs to cap it because it hinders other artists from charting, which affects how their songs do, how their albums do. It also like affects how their next budget for their next album goes, how their next contracts go, how their financial stuff goes in general, how their tours go, what venues they're booking, like all of these things. Like it does affect all of this stuff. And like we can say things like the Grammys don't matter or whatever, but they matter in certain circumstances for certain people. And when it comes to the charts and that kind of stuff, they open a lot of doors. And when you have all of the doors kind of already open and you are then preventing the other doors from being open for other artists, there's no amount of like, no matter how good someone else can be, it does it. And it's a really, really, really bad look. And I also think it's a really bad look to defend it. And I think it cheapens the art as a whole because nothing you're releasing at that point is anything like that great or that worthwhile or that meaningful. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the specific thing that this was inspired by?
Oh, yeah. So this is, I mean, I feel like we all know.
I don't know if you're not a fan, if you specifically know.
Oh, okay. Taylor Swift has released an obscene amount of specific variations. Some may say that the timing, no. The timing is suspicious. And whether that's her team who's strategizing or she's doing it, whatever, all in all, it's underneath her name, it's underneath her umbrella, it's underneath her image. So regardless if she's not the one controlling it, she is the one who put a stop to it. That like specifically coming out with variations when a new artist is dropping a song or a new album. And she even dropped one with the one that I was like, girl, like this is getting like, it's getting embarrassed. It's getting so bad that she dropped a Charlie XCX's Brat was dropping and everybody was so fucking excited. And the singles were out and the singles were crushing it, doing so well. And it was anticipated to be #1 in the UK charts. UK, not worldwide, UK charts. And Taylor dropped a UK exclusive. And again, like these are like voice memos that she used to release for free, that she used to release on her social media or she released on Tumblr or like behind the scenes, like whatever that is. It's like they're things that like she used to give out freely or just share or compile all together in one album as opposed to like breadcrumbing it just when people are doing that. And like recently it was in like both the only two women who are on the charts were Chappell Roan and Sabrina Carpenter. She dropped another one. And like when Billie Eilish was dropping her album, she like dropped another one. And like it is such a bad look. Like it's like I enjoyed her last album. It was not my favorite. Like I think there's like 17 very good songs on it. But like when you do that, it makes it look like you don't believe in the artwork. You're pushing. I mean, you don't believe in the art. Like you're pushing it so hard that like now people are like, I don't want to listen to this. Like this is wild. And again, like, you know, people talk shit on her merch. Like she has, I mean, a lot of artists notoriously have like bad quality, like bad designed merch or whatever. And I view this kind of like in a similar way where it's like, yeah, her job might not be tracking the calendar and then saying, let's drop it on this day. But she is the one signing the checks and she's the one who could stop it. She might not be the one who decided to do this and was like, this is a great idea, but she's not the one stopping this from happening. And all the defense I see is like don't hate the player, hate the game. And so I hate the game. And I think like it cheapens then the whatever spot you're landing on. You know, like you have to then kind of like factor it into like where people are landing on the charts if they're not doing that and then be like, okay, so you should be higher and then this person should be lower. And it's like you naturally and organically can do this. Like let other people have their moment. Like you can, there's enough to go around. And yeah, it reminds me very much of her song called Nothing New, where she talks about very relatable thing, talking about like being considered to be really good for her age and being like really talented and being really young. And then when you get to a point where like you're no longer really young, are you still talented? Are you still good? Or is it just because you're young and then someone else who's young, who their talent is the level that it's at, but like their youth is what makes this person an anomaly, what makes this person like so interesting. And like that's something we can never get back. Are you still going to love me when I'm nothing new? It's a very good song. It's a very introspective song. And it is a song that makes me think of this circumstance and situation and something that I think as women in general, we all have to work through. And I think that sooner rather than later. And if that's not going to happen, I think Billboard, Billboard take the wheel.
Because at this point in her career, she should be helping raise people up and not being in competition with them.
Yeah. And like people will reference the like model squad, like all of her friends in that era where they were all like, she like did Bad Blood and she like had every actress she loved, like had all these girls and that. And there was an era of that. There was a specific look of those women. But like she did that. And, you know, then it just ceased to happen. And like if I'm going to like armchair therapize, like Kim Kardashian screwed her over and she was like, it became one of those things of being like, I don't trust girls. Like I don't do that anymore. And then at that point, I think like you can be reserved and you can have all of those things. And there's a way, like you don't have to include everybody. You don't have to do that whole thing where you're publicly putting yourself on the line for all these people and vouching for people who might stab you in the back. But you don't do it. Then just sit quietly and then do your own thing. Don't impede in other people getting to that level. I think she's above that. And I think it's just like not.
She should be above.
Yeah, she should be above it. And like, and also like the level of fame that she's at. I'm like, you don't have to do like, it's just one of those things that like
literally disappear for like 3 years.
And she has done that album before.
Yes.
And like, that was her most critically acclaimed album. And
now it's like every few months you show something.
It's less than every few months with these variations. Like, and it's just like, it's just not. And then you have like your fans who are then like sending death threats to anyone who says anything bad about it. And that's also not a good look. And it's just like, she's too seasoned for this. She's too established and she's far too successful. And I also think she's talented. Like she's very like, I don't think she needs to stoop to this like level to kind of like cheat the system when the system already benefits her. Like she already just released something new then, like release another, like I'd rather that than like this kind of a thing. Yeah, I really hope we get back to an era where supporting women publicly, that solidifies your longevity in your career versus like being a mistake that you could do. That, yeah, like I I like collaboration. I like people. I would love if Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter like did something. Like there's something that's like you get to a certain age past your early 20s as a woman where like you realize that the patriarchy was telling you that your competition the whole time has been women. And that was just like to keep you fucking busy. So like men could trample all over you. And so I think like as women who are past that age, I think it's our responsibility to like model that, you know? And like I went through that toxic phase as well. Like, you know, competition, like I get along better with guys, like blah, 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 like whatever that is. And like,
yeah, but she's like 5 years older than you.
What I'm saying though. And it's like, that's like, we grow out of that and like, you have to work on that. And if you're defending that behavior and all of that, just know that like, this is a universal thing that you will also have to grapple with. And if you don't spend the time like unlearning that like women are not your enemy and women are not your competition and that like you have to work together, you are going to be so stunted and feel like so not in community as you get older. And that's like, it's harder to have a community when you're older. And if you reject that and don't unlearn all that behavior, like it's just not you're going to regret it. So Billboard, please fucking fix it.
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
We are back, and it's time for our next segment, which is But Are You Wrong?, where we read your write-ins, your submissions, where you tell us a circumstance or situation that you are dealing with that you want to know if you are in the wrong. So maybe it's like, would I be wrong if I did this? Or was I wrong for doing this thing? The only thing we say is you're never wrong for your feelings. So rephrase if it's like, am I wrong for feeling this way? We're never going to tell you that you're wrong for that, even if it's not how we would feel. You're always entitled to your feelings. So you can send that to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Keep it under 300 words. It is all anonymous, so please come up with some pseudonyms. And we would like to know your age, and you can let us know your pronouns if you would like, but keeping it clear so we can figure it out and we can issue our verdict.
First up, we have this one. All right, lovely ladies, let me know if I'm wrong in this situation. My roommate is a guy I met in college and we became good friends. Never any romantic feelings on either side. We're just best friends. No one gets that. They're all like, it'll morph into something you'll see. It won't. I don't need to see. I've been currently seeing a guy the last couple months, taking it slow. So I guess this is the first time I mentioned my roommate was a he. His name is Alex, so could easily go either way. So this guy goes on and is asking if we've ever had feelings for each other like everyone does. I could tell he wanted to ask if we've ever slept together, but he didn't take it that far. So this conversation kind of turned me off from him, and I haven't really engaged in any of our calls, texts the last 2 days. Am I wrong for being slightly offended, or am I overreacting to questions I'm asked often enough? Well, here in Los Angeles, a lot of people are roommates with people that they've broken up with and start dating other people. So I feel like here that is a fair question. And it might be elsewhere. I mean, I've had a male roommate before and I absolutely did not find him attractive. Never did a day in my life, never will. And I never did anything with him, never wanted to. But if somebody asked me that, then I don't think I would be offended by it. I think it's a fair question.
How ugly do you think this guy is? Yeah. I mean, like, I think, like, you can blame shows like New Girl for this or whatever. Like, depends on how the person asks the question, but also, like, this person hasn't been around when other people have asked the question and know how much this, like, irritates you. And, like, I think, like, you avoid this if you mention something ahead of time about, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, my roommate Alex, like, yeah, he was saying whatever. But I think, like, not having that not come up until months later in, I don't think that, like, my automatic assumption would be like, oh, I wonder if this person, like, if they're hooking up. But if I found out about it, like, months later that, like, this was a guy who we've been talking about, your roommate, and I had no idea, I might be like, oh, I might, even if you didn't intentionally hide that, I might be like, did they, like, avoid saying pronoun, whatever that is. If it feels like, if it's no big deal, I think it comes up a lot earlier. But I think, like, the whole, like, oh, it's no big deal, you just didn't put two and two together is a little, like, just, like, I don't know. Like, for me, if I was, like, dating someone or hooking out with someone and they had, like, a roommate who was, like, a girl, like, I don't necessarily think I would have an issue with it. It would just depend on, like, their relationship, you know? And, like, if I found out months in that their relationship was a girl, like, it was a girl, then regardless of their relationship, I'm like, why didn't I know? Like, it's just, you know that some people might have questions or some people might feel a certain type of way or just be wondering about it. So I think, like, that's a then being forthcoming about that versus, like, you know, not necessarily. I also think it's kind of like a power move when people are like, heads up, like, my roommate's a guy. If that's, like, a deal breaker for you, like, I'm not like, then I think we're done. Like, it's just, like, that's how we are. Like, there's just something about, you're going to find people who are totally cool with it. And, like, but I even think people who are totally cool with it might still have questions. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's just, like, the same way I have questions of, like, heterosexual to, like, cis girls who, like, live together. I'm like, oh, how'd you guys meet? Like, oh, that's, like, fun. Like, where'd you guys go to school? Like, you getting to know someone of that. But I think, like, if someone doesn't believe that, like, you've never had feelings for each other, you're not interested in each other like that, and then they, like, followed up with, like, well, have you had sex? Like, to me, that's disrespectful. Like, that's just, like, disrespectful. But I think, like, being curious about, like, oh, how did you meet? Like, how it's not necessarily super common for people of opposite sex who are both heterosexual are roommates with specifically with just each other if they're not related or they are not, haven't been in a relationship. Like Melissa said, it's so fucking common in LA that it's, like, your exes who live together. Like, so, like, it's just not necessarily that common. So I I think having questions about that, as long as those questions aren't offensive and like they listen and believe you the first time you say something and it doesn't get to like weird sex stuff, I think it's just expected. So I think you have to kind of either have to like be chill with that happening and those interactions happening, or you have to get ahead of it and bring it up first. But yeah.
All right. You're up, Megan.
Hey, Queens. So I'm in a situation. My aunt has been watching my kids this summer. I pay her every month. So today I found out she's actually not doing much at all. My oldest son told me she basically doesn't do anything while here. She came out of the room we have for her to make them lunch, and that's it. My kids are 9 and 6. She was laid off of her job back in May. So instead of finding work, she asked to help with my kids, and I did need childcare. So win-win. Now I'm thinking I'll have to let her go and just enter them in summer camp. Am I wrong to fire her when she based her income off of helping me? No, you're not at all. That is also illegal. You cannot pay a monthly for a nanny. It has to be overtime hours and whatever specific, not paid under the table as well. So like, I think that you can also use that as an excuse of being like, hey, I've actually read more about this. And like, we have to pay you like this. And this is all this. And like, we just don't have the funds in the budget to account for taxes and all of that stuff. We obviously are not going to like, we'll keep this under the table for now. Allegedly, maybe. I'm not suggesting you do that, but I'm saying if you recognize this happened now versus knowing that, oh, this is actually illegal of how we've been doing this, that's a good out. But I will also say that regardless of someone's relation to you, I do think with childcare, you get what you pay for, unfortunately. And sometimes people who are looking to take care of kids, in that sense, if they're in a financial pickle, I don't think that childcare opportunities are the most aligned with, I just need money quick and easy sort of a thing. Like there's kids take a lot of time and effort. I don't think this is probably the best choice for her as well. So I don't think you would be wrong in enrolling them in camp, especially because it doesn't seem like you sought her out for this. But if you think this is something that could be remedied, then I would have that conversation first.
I think the aunt thought it was easy money and was like, they'll just come and sit and do whatever, like the same they would do at home. Where at home, you're probably not actively doing things with them the whole time. They're probably off doing their own thing. And that's how she sees it. And if you didn't outline that you would like her to take them to activities or do things with them or whatever, then she's just thinking like they can sit in the living room and I'll feed them when they're hungry. And that's it. So if you didn't specify what you wanted her to do, then that's on you. Maybe you have a conversation and be like, hey, these are the things that I want to do. And then maybe you aren't even paying her enough to do those things. And then if that's the case, then you need to pay her more and then do it in a legal way.
Yeah. Like I said, you get what you pay for. And like, there's a difference between being a nanny and it sounds like she might live with you, which also like, that's not payment. Like that you have to be paid on top of that. But like, there's nannying is like, usually you have a degree in it. There's like early childhood education. Like there's so many things that you do about like that the career, and then babysit, and you pay a premium for that. You pay health insurance, you pay a driving mileage stipend, you pay a reimbursement, you have guaranteed hours, like you have, this is an employee who is paid overtime, all of those kinds of things. There's vacation days. And then there's babysitting, which is you sit on the couch, you turn on a movie, you heat up some chicken nuggets, and you make sure the kids don't die. And that's, right. And you get paid accordingly. And so like, it's one of those things that like, I think like, yeah, you either have the conversation of what your expectations were ahead of time, or the payment is implication of the expectations ahead of time. So like, if you're paying her what you would pay in what is like market rate for a nanny for 2 kids, that's like live-in, so financially on top of that, then yeah, I would be annoyed because it'd be like, I'm paying you what you should. And it felt like that was the communication of what the role was, because this is how much you'd get paid for that. But if it wasn't, that conversation needs to be there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
Hey everyone. everyone. Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to See You Next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Merry Christmas, everybody! My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody! Let's go!
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the magical millennial.
And I'm the dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, and But Are They Wrong is where we nominate a person, place, or thing who has done something shitty, awful, that we think deserves some attention that we want to share and talk about.
Mine is interesting. So here we go. My nomination is Oklahoma Chief Justice Brian Lovell. So he has been accused of having sex with 2 bailiffs at the courthouse during office hours. He also exchanged sexually graphic texts and images with 1 bailiff at the courthouse during office hours. The day that he got sworn in, he slept with somebody at the court. And when they found out about it, the other people that worked there, they voted to keep him in place. And then the woman resigned, which seems fishy to me. It seems like they forced her out. And then after she resigned, he started sleeping with her replacement. Then he also has allegations of neglect of duty, corruption, favoritism to 1 attorney, and improperly sealing a case assigned to another judge. He repeatedly ruled in favor for 1 attorney and made illegal orders. He was also putting weird comments in the record about how amazing and brilliant this attorney was. And then also, he faces 2 separate shooting charges. So in 2023, he was accused of doing his first drive-by. He got mad at his brother-in-law and shot into his brother-in-law's house. And then he claimed that his firearm had been stolen and it wasn't him. And then he went to Austin, Texas later in the year and discharged his firearm for a similar incident in Austin, Texas on September 11th, 2023. And investigators alleged that he used the same gun, the one that he said got stolen, a Glock 23, and was just going around and just shooting a bunch of cars at a restaurant, and no one got hurt, but he shot out these cars. And then a woman in Austin said that he tried to ram her car and push it into oncoming traffic. And then he got out of his car and just started shooting his gun in the air like he was fucking Yosemite Sam or something. That's the end.
Melissa, when you said his shooting issues, I said, oh, on the job. And then you said drive-by, and I said, hold up, what? And then you said Glock, and I said, hold up. Yes. What? The whiplash that I just got, if anyone wants to watch the video, visually the whiplash that I just got from that is crazy. Here I am thinking oh yeah, he's using his position and his access to weapon, and he's going past his job requirements, and he's using this in his favor. No. Man has a hobby of drive-by shootings.
Yes.
With a Glock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to laugh, but like...
It's ridiculous.
It's literally like video game in real life, not real person. I'm like, and you have a job? And you got the job with... I can't imagine this is considering like you have it's your pastime is shooting your gun in drive-by, like drive-by shooting. I have to imagine this isn't a brand new thing. So like you got a job with this and or maintained a job? Is he been fired?
Maintained a job. He's been charged, so we'll see.
He'll be honorably discharged with a hefty retirement payout settlement.
I'm like, is this attorney that you had all this favor for, is this the one that's representing you? Because that would be funny.
Also, I have to add that one because it sounds like you've been fucking and sucking. But like, is it that one? Because if that one's just getting glowing reviews, what are the questions that they're going to have to ask the courtroom to ensure that nobody working there knows you and has like?
And the one in Texas, he'll be like, no one will know him there.
Two of them were bailiffs?
Yeah, the one in Texas, no one knows him there. So I feel like the Texas one, he'll probably, actually get convicted. But I don't know about the one in Oklahoma.
No. You're way too connected. And also, like, if I knew the man who was connected from a legal standpoint to like all of these fucking people, and then I also know had a hobby of drive-by shooting with his Glock, boy, oh boy, am I keeping my mouth fucking shut? Right. Like, no, you have the firearm power as well as the puppeteering power here. This is like corrupt on so like, and also like it's giving reality TV show contestant. Like, why are you also having sex with all these people? Aren't you so busy?
And old.
How old is he again?
He's got to be, hold on, let me see how old this man is. He's at least 60.
We need to uncover some cold cases. There's no way this man has not been at this for
years.
Yeah, there's been some fucking repercussions.
Yeah.
Just hidden. This reminds me of the Karen Reed trial. I don't know if you've kept up with that at all. Mm-mm. But it's basically a woman in, I think it's Boston, or it might just be Massachusetts. I think it is Boston, though, who has been accused of killing her boyfriend, who is a cop. And basically they're saying that, like, he was outside and she hit him with her car, and like then she fled the scene and he like died in the snow. But like she left hours before that happened. And they put him on top of the snow. Like it's like they set up everything. Like the whole thing is like they're framing her. And recently, like this week, what just came out was they like reached their verdict and it was a mistrial. And then her lawyer, Karen Reed's lawyer, the next day got a fucking call from one of the jurors who said, we voted that she was not guilty on 2 of them. I don't know why the judge said it was a mistrial. And then he got reached out to like 3 more people, like a couple more jurors. And then people were like, hey, my coworker's a juror. They were telling me this shit. Here's the fucking emails. Here's the recording of this conversation. Like, I feel like I have to tell you. So it's like stacks of like, it was never ruled. Like, it was everyone voted. And the only reason why they voted that she was not guilty for 2 out of the 3 charges. And the only reason they didn't vote that she was not guilty for the 3rd charge is it was intentionally worded very confusing, that he had brought up that he like that they were concerned about. And it was like, no, it's fine. And they were like, you voted not guilty on these 2. So therefore you would think that the last one was like fleeing the scene. And they're like, well, we don't think she's guilty for murdering him. And we don't think she was there for any of this. So therefore she wouldn't be guilty for fleeing the scene, but they worded it in a way that was confusing. So everyone's been saying, and even from some of the stuff I've watched, like the judge is so clearly corrupt as well. Cause like it's the police force, it's all of this shit. And the judge is in the pocket, and the judge didn't even poll the jury in front of any of the lawyers or the press or anything like that. She just went out and said, oh, they couldn't come to a decision. It was mistrial. And so now they're like, everyone's like, that feels like so blatant and brazen. And I was like, yeah, I don't know that she thought they'd figure it out that fast or like what. But I'm like, if you're in the pocket of them financially, or like you're so worried about like their power and control that you're doing this for your own safety, either way, you failed. Either you're not going to get the fucking money. And then also like, if it's worried about safety, like you're out.
Right.
So reminds me of that.
Yeah. He's 59 years old.
Oh my God.
And you should see the pictures of him like walking into court with his wife, who looks like she just got off the Mayflower.
Like Pilgrimy?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. That's not the image I was expecting.
Let me, I'll send it to you right now.
Is that like a kink? Like, do you think the bailiffs, he was fucking...
I think that he was like...
Back in my day.
He was like, I have this like clean cut wife and then freak at work.
Lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. But he's not even in the sheets, he's at work.
I know.
He's
in his robe. He's in his
ew,
robe.
Ew. Don't give me that fucking visual. You bitch. You fucking bitch. Here, let me
with
pull
his
it up.
gavel.
No. This man's disgusting.
I know.
No. Who is that old man on the other side? Is that his lawyer?
His lawyer.
Okay, so R.I.P. to that man. He's got weeks left. That man is so old. Why is he making him work? No, Melissa, that's crazy. I'm okay with Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, is that his name?
Yes.
I'm okay with Dick Van Dyke having his being on your soaps and all of that stuff. Like, that's fine. That man wants to work. No, I don't know a single person who wants to be a lawyer for a shitty man like that on the last weeks of their life. He's supposed to be assertive in court. One gust of wind.
Maybe he's banking on him dying. So then it extends the trial.
No,
because then they'll have to start over.
No, I think it has to be. He took this man out of retirement.
Yeah, it's his attorney, Stephen Jones.
I want people to look up the photos of this because if one of these men is 60, this other man is 100. Like, how old do you think he is?
Also, he looks different in every photo.
Which one?
I sent you 3. The man that is...
Oh, good God. He looks like an unsub, which is what they call the people who commit crimes on Criminal Minds. He just looks like an unsub. Like, he has the whole thing is unsub energy. I'm sorry, I really can't get over this old man. This man is so Melissa, look at his face. You guys have to know what this is. Like, I can't stress you all enough. I don't think this man has teeth. Like, he looks like he has denture. Like, this is elder abuse. And I would be, if I was the judge in this case, I would be like, hold up.
He's
Why?
84. I just found him. 84 years old.
84 years. Your attorney is 84 years old. And I cannot stress you guys, it's an old 84. Who's a celebrity who's 84 years old?
How old is Biden? 81.
There's no way to know. Okay, just know that Joe Biden has a solid 30 years on this man. Like, and I don't mean that hyperbole. I mean that seriously. This is just...
Wait, this man, I was like, why does he have a Wikipedia page?
Well, I'm about to say, this man, who did he was on the trial for, I don't know.
The Oklahoma City bombing.
What year was that?
In 1995.
Oh my God, this man is tired. Let him have his vacation. He's not even enjoying his golden years. Hold up. No.
This man is, no, let me talk about, like, he is a high profile lawyer.
I don't doubt it.
He also was, like, in 2015, was hired by Sigma Alpha Epsilon for racist incidents at University of Oklahoma.
So he's got a type.
He was the attorney for former House page involved in the Mark Foley scandal. That was the dude that was sending emails and text messages trying to hook up with teenage boys.
Yep.
And then also served as defense lawyer for Ray Dawn Smith in a trial concerning the rampant abuse and eventual murder of her daughter Kelsey Smith Briggs, that little girl. Like, this man is corrupt as hell. And this is the person that you choose?
I have to say, it is always so ironic when a man has done something and then they say, I didn't do that. And here's my lawyer telling you to shut up and stop saying that I did this thing. And then you look up their lawyer and it's a lawyer who represents men who have done a lot of bad things. And you go, if I was trying to prove to people that I was innocent, I probably would have picked a lawyer that represented innocent people, maybe even specifically against men who I'm being accused of doing said thing. I wouldn't really pick men who have done the thing that I'm being accused of doing, their lawyer who tried and failed to defend them. It's just such an interesting choice.
Such an interesting choice.
Ah.
All right, your turn, Megan. And yours is dark. So if you don't want to hear, tune out.
Before we get into it, this is going to be talking about the death of a young baby. To any new parent or parents out there, I do want to make it abundantly clear, this is not a random situation or circumstance. This is not about like SIDS or anything like that. This was a cause and effect. So if that, just so people know going into it, but it does have to deal with their parents. So a 4-month-old baby died on a boating trip in Lake Havasu over a 4th of July weekend. And even before like reading more into this, automatically I was like, holy fucking shit. Because if people are not familiar, if you're not like on the West Coast, Lake Havasu has a reputation of 2 things. 1, being so fucking ungodly hot. And 2, just a huge party area, specifically for a 4th of July. I had friends who all up in like Northern California and even like parts of Southern California who would do, what was it called? Like they would get boats, houseboats? It was called houseboats. I think it was some of the ones called, where you would go to Lake Havasu and everyone would rent, college kids rent houseboats and you're drunk on a boat for like, it's like a spring break kind of thing. So like it's a destination for West Coast, like college spring break area. And it's very party-y. Most people I know my age have graduated from that because you got to keep up. So it's a lot. So to even bring a 4-month-old to Lake Havasu on the 4th of July it's a choice. It's a choice because you're having to worry about drunk people. You're having to worry about all of that, as well as the fact that it's ungodly fucking hot.
To bring a baby too.
They brought their 2 kids, and their other child is, I don't know if it's publishing that, so I don't want to like dive. This news article is not publishing it, so I don't want to dive too deep because that's a kid. But like, it's like a toddler, like young child, pre-elementary school, I would assume. But this family brought their kids out on the boat, and what's being reported at this point is that their 4-month-old has died from heat-related complications, and the baby was they were on board at Lake Havasu when the baby became unconscious around 5:10 p.m. And the the temperature that day reached 120 degrees. And prior to that, they had released excessive heat warnings. We've had excessive heat warnings here for the last like 2.5 weeks or something. So it was not a sudden change in temperature or anything like that. But the baby was rushed to Havasu Regional Medical Center and then airlifted to Phoenix Children's Hospital. But the child died a short time later. And then like the next day, or maybe even later that day, the parents posted a GoFundMe. Maybe it wasn't from them, but there's a GoFundMe for this family. Writing, our precious girl gave us her last smiles and we gave her our last kisses. We will never understand why you had to leave us so soon. You were just too perfect. Which I find disgusting to say. Like, sure, people can speculate about whatever, but at the end of the day, when you take your child out on a boat when it's 120 degrees, you have assumed a risk. Regardless if a freak accident happens, you're in a circumstance that is not safe. So statistically, like that in itself should not have even happened. That's why she left this earth so soon, because this was like wildly fucking unsafe. And like her grandma, or I think her mom posted on Facebook like right after as well with the same like tribute. And people were like, hold up, why the fuck did you bring your baby? Like, what the hell are you talking about? It's just horrible and it's awful. So her baby's name is Tana, I think it's Tana Ray Wroblewski, and it's an avoidable death. And like, this is just like so horrible. They have another kid, and the rest of the stuff I've seen reported is just like speculation. And I just like don't think it's cool to like report on any of that stuff, because again, there's like another child in there that they have they have in their home. And I think if we make dangerous speculations, you can put that kid in. Like, I just don't think these are safe people. And I think speculating on it further than what we know makes it even more unsafe for the other kid that they have. But it's just horrible and awful. And like, babies can't regulate their temperature. When it's too cold for us or too hot for us, like they just have a much lower threshold for that. And as an adult in 120 degree weather in like swimming, you know that those adults there's no shot that they were just sitting on the boat in 120 degrees. And there's no shot that they're all sober. Like you're going to be in the water. You're going to be in the water with your other kid. And like, then there's a 4-month-old on a boat. Like, it's just devastating and super fucking avoidable. And yeah, so it's just so not worth this kind of stuff. Like, you can still have a fun life with a baby. You don't have to give up like those things, but like there are ways to accommodate things to be safe for everyone. Cause like this for me, I can't do heat. This wouldn't be safe for me, but like I can still do other fun things.
Right. But you can also communicate how you're feeling.
Exactly.
And a baby can't do that.
But it's one of those, that's like the idea that like a child just has to fit into your life. Sometimes things happen in your life that have to change how you walk through this world, and you can still do that. And so to just kind of take a baby who can't say anything about that and just to fit them into a life that is like not safe or conducive to like their health and like well-being is like just so fucking irresponsible. Yeah, I hope they face charges, because like there's no accident. Once you bring your kid out of the house in this temperature, like I wouldn't even be outside. Like there's just, once you bring your kid out in this, it's like there is no, well, my personal judgment, I know it's like factually it's not, and it's just not. It's not okay.
Were they on a boat? Is that what you said? Shouldn't be on a boat.
No.
Even no matter what the temperature is, you shouldn't be on a boat with anybody that can't swim.
And you shouldn't be on a boat, and you shouldn't be drinking on a boat.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be out in 120. It's like literally, it's like a stacked layer of all these different things. Like your other kid shouldn't be out. Like you shouldn't be out. Like no one should. And like it's just stacked bad decision on bad decision on bad decision. And I think a lot of people make bad decisions, and it's survivor's bias. And this is not one of those instances. And I think the way they've responded to this and like their Facebook posts and shit, like it's just so fucking like it's just,
you shouldn't be
so fucking cavalier. Like you should be mortified.
Yes.
You should be like, take me to jail right now. Like this is so like, you should be ridden with guilt and like, what are you GoFunding for? So yeah, it's awful. A senseless death that was result of, well, not even senseless, a very preventable and avoidable death. So that's it. Should we end on have something that's like slightly less depressing to fully end it? We can.
I don't know if you saw that thing about Ellen.
So she said she's done, but where's she been? Like, I thought she was done.
We all were already done with you. You may not have been done with us, but we were already done with you.
I don't get it.
Did you know that Kehlani, her, and Zendaya were part of a girl group, like before they were famous?
Hold up. In my mind, they're not even in the same age bracket. Wait, what? Wait, do you know the third person who they were almost in a band, all three together?
That's what I just said, 3 people.
Oh, no, but you didn't say the third, did you?
I said Kehlani, her, and Zendaya.
Sorry. I said, did you hear Kehlani? It's her and Zendaya. And I was like, yeah, so Kehlani and Zendaya. And then I just read her, and I said, and her. And you're like, bitch, I said that.
Yes.
Wait.
They need to
put the tapes
get back
on.
together.
Get back in the fucking studio.
Right.
Okay, Victoria Monet, get in those headphones. Max Martin, get in those okay, great. Thank you for letting us know. When can we expect the album?
Right. Like, get in the studio, bitches.
Go expeditiously. Hold up. This would fix a lot of problems we don't even know we have.
I would put a pause on wishing for Destiny's Child to get back together if this happened.
This is like, what even music would they like? It would be.
I don't even know.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they're all so like they can all do what they're all chameleons in the end. Like that. I'm like, you could literally you could make an album. One song is like R&B soul. One song is EDM. The other song is bluegrass. The other song is Swedish pop. Like you could literally do anything. Well. Her knew what she was doing. Saying, yeah, we're all in a band together. Wow. I need to know. So when her and Kehlani were kids, they performed in a band together and Zendaya was supposed to join. Wait, I didn't know they were all grew up in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I knew Zendaya did. And I knew her. I think I knew her. I think she moved to Oakland. I don't think she was.
She's like considers Oakland home.
Yeah. No, but I was going to say, I think she. Oh, Vallejo. Yeah. Okay. No, I think I knew that one too, but I did not know Kehlani. These are my bitches. This is hometown pride, guys.
Right. This is now you can say something.
Melissa, this is the Bay. This is first of all, and if they did Bay Area produce
and then put Victoria Monet on there,
my nipples are hard. This is so bring it back. Right now, West Coast rap, West Coast music is having a moment, and I am partial to West Coast. But specifically, you inch up, you go up a little bit. We go from Compton, we go to Oakland. Boy, oh boy, will I be fucking geeking. Like, I would die. No, I'm obsessed. Okay, no, I need it so bad. And you know what? You are being so kind to say you will put your need for Destiny's Child to come back together in the backseat. I will do that. And you know, this is big for me to say. I will do that for Rihanna. Yeah. If you guys come out this, I will let Rihanna have a little more time to make a whole new goddamn fucking album.
She probably has she's sitting on 5 albums.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know. So I will get my foot off the gas on that, and I will hop over. We'll let that car stay idle for a little bit, and I'll hop in, and I'll zoom you wherever you bitches want to go. Like, that is...
Even if y'all just did something on the BET Awards, which I don't know if you've seen the tribute to Usher from the BET Awards.
Oh, I mean, in general, the musical acts.
But I need you to specifically...
Oh, wait, no, this is recent. No, I haven't seen this then.
Okay. Because I knew if you saw the dance scene,
no.
Kiki did a dance, and then also Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet did a dance, which was Usher and Beyonce, from a classic Usher and Beyonce performance that was jaw-dropping.
I was about to say lesbians everywhere losing their fucking mind.
Yes.
Tiana, from The Man Who We Hate, that when Tiana Taylor performed with him, was it VMAs or the Grammys? Or was the music video they debuted it, whatever it was? Who was that? And I just remember being like, I am no better than a man. I cannot be judging men. I need to think about what I just did, because the way that I objectified you and it was not okay.
Right.
I've seen, I think I saw pictures and stills from this, but I think I saw the teaser and I thought I saw whatever. I thought I saw it, but I was like, no, I missed the whole thing. I just saw the teaser. Looks aren't everything, but I love it when hot people, specifically, I love when hot women, everyone talks about hot girls and they're ugly boyfriends. I love when a gorgeous girl has got a hot boyfriend. Specifically, she's got a hot baby daddy who stays at home with her kid. She's got and he's a model. I'm sure he works still, but
he was in Issa Rae has her own wine line collection, and he was just shirtless making some drinks on the Instagram. Nobody knows exactly why, and everybody was thirsting so hard that they took the photo down.
Imagine being that powerful. And he's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. And that kid, genetic lottery of the century. And talent lottery of the century.
Have a Grammy too, because she's on the song.
On the album.
Yeah.
I forgot Victoria Monet can dance like this.
How did you forget?
Because I haven't been watching her music videos. The last music video of hers I watched was the one forget, but it's very she's not moving much. She might have been pregnant in that one.
Well, you need to look at her recent music videos, because the bitch is
I was about to say this is I also just been listening, not visually watching as much. But Mods and I had a music video where we just see recent music videos, and we did that I don't know, a month ago or something like that. And because of that, I thought that I saw all the, I missed a bunch of fucking ones that came out before and after, because we just did in chronological order. And there's all these music videos. I'm I can't wait for that to come out. And Mott's is that already came out. And I'm what? I just fully missed it. So I was I thought we were up to date. I need to see her. I love that color hair on her too. She's just gorgeous. And I love the outfit. Oh, yeah. I've missed the All Right music video. This is giving, and this is what I love when bitches put some fucking respect on music videos. This is a bitch for Vimeo. And when you give me, and I've said before that one of the ones I'll cite that have in recent years that I was this is a bitch that respects music video is Normani Motivation. And I go, thank you. Bring back choreographed dances. Bring back not just you dancing. Bring back other people dancing, bring back storylines, bring back outfit changes, bring back scenery changes, and get out of the fucking cheese grater and get up. I need you to move. I need scope. I don't want this all like animated CGI. No. And this, she's bringing this is in this. Oh.
Mm-hmm. And look at Kiki too. I sent it to you as well.
Sorry, I got distracted by Victoria Monet.
I know you did.
Sorry. Woo, let's see. Speaking of, did you see Meg Thee Stallion's Sailor Moon cosplay?
I've seen everything that Meg Thee Stallion has done in the last week.
She's having so much fun, and I'm so
I learned the little dance.
I've got a list of little dances I gotta learn. And Mott's right now, though, he wants to learn Apple by Charlie XCX so bad. I'll show him that and see if he wants to learn that one too. And she looks great, and I'm not objectifying. That top is fantastic. Wait, no, I love this. Oh my god, she's wearing an A's hat. I'll forgive her for it.
She's wearing like all his shit. And I love some people were up in arms because no men were part of the tribute. And then people were like, why would Usher want some men singing to him? This is a tribute to him.
Have you ever seen the meme where it's like, hey fellas, is liking girls gay? Where it's like, anytime a woman does anything, they're like, hey fellas, is having sex with your wife gay? Like, it's very much that. Being like, whoa. Are girls shaking their ass and their titties and performing for you? Is that kind of gay? What? It's just much cooler, masculine. Have men do it. And Usher's like, I'm also, who did they want to do it?
Right.
I'm sorry, no, with love, I did not need Justin Bieber doing any of this.
No. He wasn't even invited.
Him next, if he wants to perform with Usher, that's great. I do not need Justin Bieber to be Usher. Nor do I need Chris Brown to be Usher.
Also, Justin Bieber doesn't want to be up there.
No, he's $10 million to perform at a pre-wedding ceremony.
They had him. They were waiting for him to join.
We were all waiting.
Usher was like, he was invited. Yeah. He was there.
The clock ran out. He never got out of his fucking seat.
Yeah.
He said, no, I'm going to stay up here and finish my Coke Zero. Justin, he missed his cue. We were all waiting. Yeah. No, that man got out of bed. He does not perform. He does not do much. He went and he recently did for $10 million for another pre-wedding event for a couple who the last time they did it was Rihanna for $6 million or $9 million or $12 million. And they're still not fucking married yet.
Right.
Who do you think the last one's going to be? Because people are saying I think maybe Justin, it was 6 for Rihanna, but I think 10 for Justin is going up in price. And they're like, so who's more expensive? And people are saying the only two people they could think of was Beyonce and Taylor Swift. But I would say Beyonce, Taylor Swift. I don't think Taylor Swift. I think Beyonce, Cher, or Celine Dion.
Yeah. Beyonce. Beyonce is goes and performs in Dubai for $1 billion.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, she to me is the most obvious, but I think those would be the top.
I don't think Cher's getting up anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
for $100 million.
Who is actually going to show up would be Beyonce. Yeah.
I think if you went from Rihanna to Justin Bieber, maybe you do Taylor Swift, but that just doesn't seem like the vibe.
Yeah.
Also, she's not much of a private.
And also,
performer.
Which
what
of
music?
her songs is she going to perform at a wedding? They're all about.
No, they're sad songs.
No,
sorry. There's happy songs.
There's happy songs, but aren't they still about breakups mostly?
No, not necessarily. But to me, I'm thinking they're not she's got a handful of songs you can dance to in a group. The rest of them, they're not it's just slightly awkward dance floor music. So that to me is the one where I'm not even the contents of the song. Cause you can bop to some sad club songs, but it's just
but at a wedding.
They're more acoustic-y. It's just not wedding vibe. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you would like to submit something for us to talk about, you can always DM us on the podcast Instagram or our individual ones. You can tag us on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter. And as always, write in to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com and stay tuned tomorrow to hear the results from last week's episode.
Goodbye. And we will circle back.
But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Bitches on Comics is a bi-monthly interview podcast where we talk to the coolest LGBTQ plus folks and women in comics and pop culture.
Our unique perspectives and welcoming nature have earned us the honor of being named a Best Comic Book Podcast by Book Riot, Screen Rant, The Mary Sue, Comic Book Herald, and Comic Book Couples Counseling.
Bitches on Comics is hosted by moi, Monica Estrella Negra, filmmaker, writer, and co-founder of Audrey's Revenge Film.
And me, S.E. Fleenor, comic and pop culture nerd and culture critic with writing in The Independent, Vice, Electric Literature, Star Trek, and so much more.
We're also both voting members of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ plus Entertainment Critics.
Join Bitches on Comics for in-depth, hilarious, and heartfelt conversations with the likes of Stephanie Williams, Leah Anderson, and the late, great Rachel Pollack.
Listen to Bitches on Comics on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or tune in at bitchesoncomics.com. New episodes every other Wednesday.